Welcome in, everybody, to another live edition of 410 Sports Talk. I'm James Haskell, along with my co-host Glenn Martin, and of course, DK in the background. This is a special live edition, Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
It
Why is
is
that?
playoff week, baby.
Oh, yes, true. Yes, absolutely.
Playoff week. Everywhere downtown is anywhere you go, it is purple. Bo is lit up in purple. Fed Hill's got the big Ravens logo everywhere. It is purple madness around here, and we are super excited to talk about it. Also excited about the fact that everyone is counting the Ravens out. I cannot wait for Sunday evening. So we got a lot to get into tonight, from NFL playoff power rankings to Lamar Jackson to coaches' comments, all kinds of stuff. So make sure you stay active in the chat. But Glenn, where would you like to start, my friend? Dealer's choice.
Well, I mean, I think while we're going to put out we are releasing a bigger video about the full our full reaction to the Roquan Smith extension. We got to start there. I mean,
Yeah,
incredible to see the Ravens move so quickly. They didn't wait till the offseason. They didn't even wait for their final game to be played. They said, you know what? We're getting this inked up right now. We've seen enough. Roquan Smith has obviously seen enough in his time here with the Ravens to feel comfortable signing an extension. He's the highest paid linebacker in the history of the NFL, something that I think surprises people, at least on the outset, when they think a guy representing himself kind of left his former team because they were unwilling to come up to his demands of his contract demands. And I think that had some people questioning whether the Ravens were going to be able to get a deal done. And was this more of just a rental or if this was a long-term solution? And it seems like it was a long-term solution. But I guess, Jimbo, should we be surprised when you consider they were willing to give that money to a much older Bobby Wagner, who ended up spurning them a little bit and going to L.A.? Like, should we have just known that this was always an inevitable outcome?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I know that some people locally were thinking that this was just going to be a 1-year rental and, an all-in type thing, like chips on the table. And then they were thinking, oh, well, we kind of squandered that. But I think you and I both thought the Ravens were going to do anything they could to get him signed long-term based on the compensation that they gave up. A 2 and a 5 is, I believe, what they gave up. Yeah. And so while that doesn't sound like a ton for the Ravens and how much they rely on their rookie class, they absolutely wanted to get that deal done. So really excited about it. Sean Pisker, we agree with you. So stoked we re-signed Rowe, best linebacker since Ray. And it's funny because I think that would be, a lot of people would argue with you. I mean, there's a lot of other names, guys that have already retired between Ray. Like Kuechly was incredible, and he comes to mind. Fred Warner right now is great. Bobby Wagner. I mean, there's so many names, but it's hard to say that Roquan doesn't have a case as he continues to build his resume in comparison to any of the other guys you want to put in that conversation.
No doubt. And it's, I think what makes it more, I think what kind of adds to his value is look at his teammates around him and their reaction to this deal. Like, they love this deal. Like, they call him Uncle Rowe because he's got such an old soul. He's all about ball. He just screams middle linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens. Like, he just seems like the perfect fit. When you look at Ray, we were kind of spoiled here. We didn't realize while Ray was here how unique it was to have a guy love ball that much, like to just live football. Like, that's all he did. Well, we didn't know how special that was, really. I mean, look, not to say these guys don't love football, but man, Ed and Ray really love them some ball. Like, they're watching film in their sleep here, Jimbo. And they seemingly got a guy as close to those two in that regard with Roquan Smith. So super happy for the guy. And man, also what a hell of a player. I mean, you get a guy who you never have to lead. Like, he'll play 100% of the snaps for the next 5 years, wear the green dot, get everyone in alignment, be the emotional leader. I mean, what else can you ask for from a guy that you want to extend?
Yeah, and then on top of that, if you think about that defense, you think of Kyle Hamilton, you think of Marcus Williams, you think of oh my gosh, you think of Marlon Humphrey, you think of Roquan Smith, you think of Travis Jones. I mean, Michael Pierce is a vet, but he signed for a couple more years. Like, and I'm sure there's plenty. Oh, Ajabo obviously has shown some signs.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe Adafe rounds this thing out. But my point is that we got some guys under contract for the next few years that keep that unit intact for a while. And of course, there'll be changes, but it's really exciting to know that you have a guy like him, like you said, at the epicenter of it all. that's going to kind of keep all these moving pieces and guys in a row. He's a Raven, man. I mean, he's absolutely built for it. He's a great communicator, great leader. So we're super excited about it.
Communicates almost obnoxious in his communication and how much he can. But just think about it. We got Marlon on one side. He's not going anywhere. Behind him, we got Marcus Williams not going anywhere. Kyle Hamilton's going to be next to him next season and for the next 4 years after that. And now to know Roquan's in the middle. Got to figure out that other cornerback spot. I'm not so sure it'll be Marcus, but that's that's for down the line. But
yeah, for sure.
Excited about this deal and can't wait to see him next year. My question: does he stay in 18? Because I'm seeing a lot of people predicting he's going to do a number change.
I think he stays with it. I think he started with it, rolls with it. I don't know. Right. We'll see. I'd be surprised if he changed. But shout out to Roquan, man. Yeah. All right. So Glenn, I think that the next place we're going to go is something that I think you want to get off your chest. At this point, and I'll tee you up. All right, I'll tee you up.
Thank you.
Because usually Glenn is the one teeing me up and just just pushing the buttons because he knows anytime he says Baker Mayfield,
That's right.
Yeah. So Glenn knows how to do it, and I'm gonna try and do my very best. So all I've seen on Twitter are, and some of our close friends in the YouTube world have even started to chip in. All I've seen is people slandering the Ravens about them being dirty, about them, playing dirty in this past game, late hits, this, that, and the other. Glenn, what is your opinion on all of this? On the Bengals fans and the Bengals players and the Bengals media, everybody piling on the Ravens about playing a dirty football game. I'm going to put that in air quotes because not my belief.
Yeah, I was surprised to see this reaction coming out of the Bengals locker room. But then I said, well, maybe as I was watching the game, the television feed doesn't see it all. I'm just distracted. I have people over during the game. Maybe I missed something. But I haven't seen so they come out there saying, well, we don't want to name any names, but we got respect for some guys, but other guys we don't really like, and we think they were having some dirty hits, some late hits, but we don't want to name any names. Meanwhile, there's been no video evidence. We know first of all, how many cameras are on an NFL game and how many people would love to see, something get caught on camera and expose it. Nothing has come out. Zero video evidence of anything dirty has come out. John Harbaugh came to their defense, said, I studied the game. Zero dirty plays in that game. I think what they're frustrated, I think Tyler Linderbaum got these guys so pissed off by the way he plays. By the way, completely legal. Everything he does is completely clean and legal, but he plays to the whistle. You know what I mean? I think that bothers some guys when they see a rookie playing the way he does, moving him around. I think he started getting under their skin. But what I find really surprising, as we can see here, the tweet from Jonas Schaefer from actually he moved. He's not with the
Baltimore Banner.
Baltimore Banner. Thank you, Jimbo. Obviously, he's saying that the players played a clean game as well. But let me just show my screen here, Jimbo, because I got some video evidence that shows maybe some plays by them that weren't too clean.
And while you tune that up really quickly, one of the things that I know for a fact about Tyler Linderbaum is that when you are an elite wrestler, parts of your body that normally would not be deemed as weapons become weapons. Your elbows, your shoulders, your forehead, like all of that stuff, because they're just, what is this here?
Look at this. This is the week before.
Yeah, Hendrickson is ridiculous. Dude.
Hendrickson doing a barrel roll. I wish they showed the other angle.
He just, all of a sudden his legs just have to go up in the air trying to.
And I wish they showed the other angle, because the other angle is even more telling. It shows how much he literally launches at that last moment. Yeah. You see him launch his body right here. Boom! He throws his body unnecessarily into the ankle of Josh Allen, but they have the audacity to call other teams dirty. Look at this one here. This is Hayden Hurst. This is literally plays before the DeMar Hamlin injury. But look at this. He hits him, and then he just drives him. And this guy ended up having to get assistance to get off the field.
The defensive puzzle
and it doesn't even end there, Jimbo. I mean, the thing that really frustrates me is that there's more. I mean, there's more. Look at Ben Powers on this play.
I hated this one.
Tell me this isn't a dirty play, a play that could lead to injury as Eli Apple is lifting and pulling on the leg of Ben Powers as
Yeah,
he's
that's what Ronnie
engaged
got
with about
called,
four
dude.
other.
He's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, like, oh, okay. So it's like the audacity that these guys have to call people out for being dirty. Like, it is insane to me
Well,
that they would say this.
right, and then the guy that drove who was that? Adafe, or was that Adafe Owe into the sidelines as well?
Oh, yeah. I wish I had video evidence of that.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's that one, and then there's another one that who's the other dude? Hubbard, is that his name?
Yeah,
Hubbard?
the pass rusher. Yeah.
Another late hit that he had downfield, similar to
I saw Linderbaum getting kicked in his shoulder as
yeah.
he was being pushed into the pile by one guy. Another guy was kicking him on the top of his shoulder.
And Cincinnati fans, when I talk about how dangerous it was, what Roquan did when he accidentally shouldered Jamar Chase, and that could have ended
A little chest bump.
Yeah, that could have ended his postseason run or something like that. Like, what are you talking about?
Come on, man.
Just like Devanin Salik says, cheers to the Cincinnati Karens. I mean, it's a tough time to have a name as Karen, but certainly we get it. And yeah, it's about what it is, man. There's really no other way to put it.
Yeah, it just blew my mind that they had the audacity to go to the media and try and stir something up.
Can I tell you what it is?
What's that?
It's weak-minded individuals, man. It's weak-minded individuals, dude. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'll never understand it. Like people that always find something to complain about. Nothing is ever just okay. And you can do it, but it can't be done to you. Get over it, dude. Get over it. Sean Pisker says Bengal fans being a bunch of Karens. Yeah, same thing. I mean, goodness gracious.
It's crazy, dude. I just couldn't believe it. Like, I thought, am I losing? Oh, here we go. I know this individual. No, I know this individual.
Oh, yeah. I have a few opinions. First, Bengals fans need to relax. Agreed.
Yeah.
They don't know competitive AFC North football. They certainly don't know competitive AFC North football because they're new to it. Yep. These games test your manhood. My other opinion, Glenn's forehead extra shiny tonight. I don't see the shine.
Is it extra?
Do you have a different light? Did you change the light or something?
No, I had to use Scott. What is it? Clear tape
to hold the
switch. The switch is the toggle switch is like not staying in. That's why my light keeps going out. But as you can see tonight, little tape, little trick. But do I have a shiny forehead?
I don't know. But I just want to say something really quickly because I see him in the chat here. Our winner of our last game, our last competition of the regular season. Of course, DK has a special postseason edition that we'll be announcing on Thursday. But our winner of the last game of the season, David Cutsale, correct, DK? Yeah, there we go. David, I saw you in the chat, man. Wanted to give you a shout out because pretty sure this is not your first time winning. So
I think last year got one. Yep.
Yeah, we'll have to send you a hoodie since you're a multi-time winner. So yeah, we should have your address and things like that. Actually, yeah.
We already got the message. We already got it.
Yeah, perfect.
DK took care of it. DK was on it, Jimbo.
Yeah, congrats, man. We're going to send you out a hoodie. Get that over to you. Hopefully you enjoy it. Make sure you take a picture with it and at us on any social media platform. As Glenn says, that's above his head.
Yeah. But dude, I'm getting more and more hype for this game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because of this, because of all this, and because of, the uncertainty surrounding the Ravens and the fact that the Bengals are just, it almost feels like they're penciling themselves into the second round. And I love the fact that they're overlooking this Ravens team. They showed them nothing in that last game. They played their third string quarterback. I got a sneaky suspicion Lamar's going to be back for this game, and we're going to find out. We're going to find out, Jimbo. Well,
and the other thing I got to say too, Glenn, is that I'm going to test your Ravens trivia here. Do you know what the Ravens record is in wildcard games?
Oh, it's got to be really good.
What's your guess? We've played in wildcard 6 times.
I'm going to say 4-2.
6-0.
Never lost.
Never lost a wildcard game.
Wow. Interesting.
Baltimore Ravens 5-0 under John Harbaugh.
You know what's going to be, the best part of this weekend, I think, is going to be doing it in their stadium, right?
Yep, 100%.
Doing it right in front of their fans.
Yeah, and I want to, I want to, let's see. Eli Hoff says, this D will be scary next year. Hot take, this D will be close to being the Ravens D of old. Wow. I agree. I mean, I think as they continue to gel as a unit, that's going to be when you're talking about the long haul, multiple years. Yeah, I think this unit has every opportunity to be a solid defense, a Ravens traditional defense, as we've seen in the past. But I really quickly, we're kind of talking about this upcoming game. I want to talk about Lamar Jackson real quick because, like you said, Glenn, I also have a sneaky suspicion Lamar Jackson's playing this Sunday. And just like Jamison Hensley said, Lamar Jackson is attempting to be the first quarterback in 17 years to not play in the last 5 regular season games and then start a postseason game. Well, look, Glenn, wow. I don't care how long it's been because in how many years has the NFL been around? What, 55, 57?
Longer than that.
Well, how many Super Bowls have there been?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I got you. So I guess, yeah.
Something like that, 50 something, right? So how many Lamar Jacksons have there been?
There's been one.
One, dude. Lamar Jackson is one of one. And I really quickly want to, so I'm not worried about the 17 years and this, that, and the other. Nah, Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson. It just is what it is. I want to share this really quickly. Make sure I put this up on the screen.
This is what's got fans hyped, Jimbo. Yeah.
So this was Lamar Jackson. I don't know what you call this, DK. Reposted this in his story.
I think that's right.
Originally, I was going to say restoried it, but he reposted it. This was originally a fan's, and he put up there. So, obviously this was somebody saying, Lamar, we need you out there Sunday and need another win in Cincy again. And this one count most. Lamar Jackson reposted this.
Now, why would he do that unless he had at least
just to break someone's heart?
No, I don't see that.
Me neither.
I think he feels like he's going to be able to give it a go this week.
Mm-hmm.
And now let me ask you this, Jimbo. I don't know if this is the right play. Let's talk about how the Roquan deal affects Lamar Jackson. Can we go into that a little bit? Can we go into it, Jimbo?
We can give it a couple. Yeah, we can.
Because I think we have to. Here's the thing.
But all good juju here.
Yeah, all good. But I wonder how, if at all, that affects Lamar Jackson's perception of this, or if of how much that affects everyone else's perception on Lamar, in the sense that Roquan Smith, representing himself, leading this defense, obviously huge, impactful, was able to negotiate in season for a deal that made him the highest paid player at his position in history. During the season, representing himself, and he just got here 8 weeks ago. So do you think that will lead some people, maybe it's just the Lamar Jackson naysayers that are just waiting for any bit of ammunition to then, back up their whatever narrative they want to push? Do you think that will give them some more ammunition to say, look, Roquan did it? So it isn't the Ravens' inability to work with a guy who doesn't have an agent. It isn't the Ravens not wanting to step up. Yeah, it's not the Ravens' unwillingness to step up and make a guy the highest paid position player or player at his position. So do you think this will lead to some people criticizing Lamar Jackson, especially if he doesn't make it out there this weekend for the playoff game?
Yeah. So I'll answer this way. I think overall, this is good with the likelihood of Lamar Jackson signing a long-term deal with the Baltimore Ravens. I think it's positive. It's positive momentum. It's
scared to say anything, Jim.
Me? Well, I just
walking on eggshells.
No, I just feel like I'm trying to, because I don't want to be on one side of the fence or the other right now in this conversation. Normally I'm always on one side of the fence or the other, right? Like, this is new to me. I'm not a politician. Like, this is new to me. I'm very opinionated. So what I'm trying to say is that for those people that perceive Lamar Jackson as Jesus in cleats, that will never change. They want him to take Rashadi to the poorhouse. That's what they think he deserves. And that will always be the case. There are plenty of new Ravens fans who are not Ravens fans. They're Lamar Jackson's fans. And I get it. For all of those people, their perception will always be the same. But I believe that Lamar Jackson cannot be blind to the fact that, the Ravens don't look great without him. However, being injured 2 years in a row hasn't done a lot to up his value either. I think the tweets around today's price isn't yesterday's price or whatever, I think those are over and done with because he's not out there balling out. Like, if he would have played, obviously this is Roquan just balled out from the time he got here, and guess what? He got paid. If Lamar Jackson was balling out right now, you don't think he'd be getting paid?
Well, no, because Lamar doesn't want to negotiate.
Sure, but I guess that's true. I mean, but ultimately, the Ravens, if they came to him with a deal, he's gonna. If they came to him,
if they came to him with a fully guaranteed $250 million deal, maybe,
right.
But
all I'm saying is that I think that this shows that he can still be paid handsomely, but it needs to be a give and take. This isn't a one-way street. Never has been, never will be. Even in basketball, even in baseball, where these deals are, guaranteed, it's still not a one-way street, right?
Mm-hmm.
NBA players, everyone talks about, oh, well, their contracts are fully guaranteed, this, that, and the other ball. Sure, but players are always opting out in a lot of cases to help the team. They're always doing all these other things to manipulate the cap and keep their team together if they really want to be competitive, right? So it's not a one-way street. So all I'm trying to say is that right now, my belief is that this helps the Ravens' chances of getting Lamar's deal done. I think it's a good thing, ultimately.
Okay. All right.
What do you think? Do you disagree?
No, I don't think it's good or bad as far as them two working things out. But I'm just talking about the perception, how the fan base is going to look at it.
Yeah.
I don't think the perception
I
is
think
going
that
to be good.
Even more wide, to be honest. I think that, like I said, the people that are, Lamar lovers are all, and not that we're not Lamar lovers, but I don't think that he's not the Ravens. Like, he's not the entire team. He doesn't get all the payroll. Lamar Jackson, that will always be the same. And I think that would get more extreme. And then I think those that are like, oh, well, he shouldn't have got hurt. He runs too much, blah, blah, blah. Like all the excuses, people, it's only going to get wider.
Yeah.
Is what I think. The perception will become more, he'll become more polarizing.
Even more. Yep.
Which is crazy to me, right? Like, why can't people have a foot in both camp, Yeah.
And then the question will be, if they decide to do the franchise tag, will he sign?
Yeah.
Will he play?
But
anyway, let's get into what I think is going to be kind of fun. I want to rank the playoff teams right now. I want to power rank 1 through 14.
All right.
Both sides. If you want to break it up, AFC, NFC, that's up to you. I'm going to do straight 1 through 14 here. Matter of fact, I've already done it. So I don't know if you want to. I think it's better, to start at 14 and work our way up to number 1. Do you have the ability to do so? Are you feeling comfortable now about that?
Good. I feel good. I'm struggling a little bit more, honestly, with the NFC side in my mind, because I feel like naturally you watch more of the AFC than you do the NFC. Basically, like the Ravens are in the AFC, but I'm feeling okay. So, and then also, I just want to mention that outside of DK's playoff contest, Glenn, what I just decided on the fly, without telling either you or DK, is we're going to do an additional competition with a bracket. So send us in your brackets. Just send us in your brackets, like in a comment, like, ultimately your playoff outlook before the playoff game.
That's a lot.
Starts. We'll just send in your winners.
Okay.
To who goes in, who's the winners of each round. If anyone gets it right, you get a shirt and a hoodie. If anyone gets it right.
Whoa, hey now. Okay.
Yeah, so big time. Big time. All right, so let's get into this, though. DK, you got a graphic for us? Oh, sorry. It's just Quan says, I pray we can win and flip Marcus Peters. Flip a coin.
And flip Marcus Peters. DK, I think DK gets it, and we don't.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes, right?
Damn it. I think it's more of an indictment on us.
When it's over Glenn's head at 6'3", has a problem.
Does he mean flip, like as in we're gonna trade him next year? No. DK's like, no.
You can throw it in the private chat if you got an idea.
DK's like, no, you're an idiot. That's the look he had on his face. Like, no dumb
nice.
Yeah, like no dumb. That's what he.
Like, what's the dude, the CFO from Dunder Mifflin? David what?
That's hilarious. Huh?
What's the CFO from Dunder Mifflin? What's his name? David something?
Oh, man.
That's the way he... do a coin flip celebration.
Oh, got you.
What's his name? David or David something. Anyway, he always looks at Michael Scott the same way.
Yeah, just amazement, it looks like. I can't even believe. David Wallace. There it is. There it is. Appreciate belief.
There you go. That's awesome. All right, let's get good, Glenn.
Right. So let's start with 14. Who's the worst?
Beauty? I'll let you go first.
All right. And then you can tell me if you disagree. Is that fair?
All right. Yep.
In my opinion, when I look
It's
at
actually the same.
well, I don't know about that. When I look at the 14 playoff teams, my worst team to make the playoffs is the Seattle Seahawks.
All right. Wow. We are already disagreeing.
Really? Who you
I'm
got?
thinking the New York Football Giants. They're not a good team. Like, I know that they've been playing well as of late, and like obviously they got in the postseason, but
yeah,
I have more faith in the Seattle Seahawks than I do the New York Football Giants. So I'm going 14 New York Giants.
And that's who I got at 13. We got our two swept.
We just swept. I just created a word.
So we flipped our two. So you think the Giants are worse than Seattle?
I just do. This is ultimately what it comes down to, Glenn. I believe that Geno Smith is better than Daniel Jones.
Not by much, though, right?
I know, but I'm just
a Geno hater.
Didn't he just break the franchise record for yards?
He did, passing yards and completion percentage.
Yes, and Daniel Jones.
But who cares?
Sure, but Daniel Jones is just not that.
He's not good. But I think if Daniel Jones doesn't turn the ball over, I think they win.
But that's asking a lot.
From him?
Yeah, that's asking a heck of a lot.
Probably. Glenn. But maybe I'm just a Geno hater. But I don't buy into the Seattle Seahawks at all. I don't buy into the Giants either. Obviously, I have them at 13.
He's a Pro Bowler.
The best thing about this weekend, I think, is that I think both of them will
get eliminated.
Out of there.
So, who you got at 12?
At 12 for me. This is an interesting one because I'm power ranking these teams based on how good they are. But at the same time, I think it'd be interesting to pick the biggest sleeper at the same time because this might also be my biggest sleeper. I'm putting the Tampa Tom.
I knew it, dude.
Tampa Tom is my 12th best team in the playoffs. And it's because they've been so bad all year. Their offensive line is so beat up. They can't run the ball with any level of consistency. They can't stop the run like they used to be able to. And I still can't understand why that is when they still have relatively the same guys. But I still would not be shocked at all to see an 8-9 Tampa team go on some crazy run and have the most improbable Super Bowl run.
Yeah, because think about this. They say they beat Dallas, who is not playing well right now, and then turn around and let's be honest, they face a nervous Eagles team because they're the front runner. They have all the pressure on them, and they're playing an experienced guy in Tom Brady. Before you know it, we could find this team in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Or they could just flame out, right? Like you can easily see that going both ways. But I have the same number 12. Let's keep this thing going, Glenn. Actually, I'll give you my number 11.
Tell me your 11, because this is interesting.
Yeah, I'll give you my number 11. I'm going with the Chargers here at 11. Yeah, and this would not have been our conversation earlier. They've been so underwhelming. Like just based on the people they have on paper and the up and downs that they go through, it's just underwhelming. So I'm going with the LA Chargers.
Wow. Okay. Well, certainly they came under a lot of criticism this past weekend when Staley's playing all their key starters in the fourth quarter of a completely meaningless game. They went into that game knowing it meant absolutely nothing, not seeding, not anything. And yet he played his starters well into the fourth quarter. In fact, Mike Williams came out with an injury that luckily, after x-rays, appears to have just been a spasm or something relatively minor, but didn't look good at the time. That's for sure.
He's got a history of back problems too.
Exactly. So back and neck.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's interesting. I don't have them there. In my 11th spot, I got the Miami Dolphins. I got the Miami Dolphins. They've stumbled in the playoffs. They look like they might have to play this game, certainly without Tua, but maybe without Teddy Bridgewater. Now, if they get Bridgewater back, I think they got a shot. But without Bridgewater, they're going to get their doors blown off. And they might even with Bridgewater taking on a Buffalo Bills team.
But a matchup is not the same as power rankings, though, right?
No, that's true. That's true. But when the Dolphins go into this game with their third string quarterback and they've lost 4 out of 5, I think, or 5 in a row, it might even be. Remember, they started this season pretty hot. They're 9-8 going into the playoffs, Jimbo. Barely above 500.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. So, and honestly, Glenn, for those reasons, this is funny. We haven't said the Ravens yet. And I think we're both assuming that Lamar Jackson's going to play. But for those reasons, I have the Miami Dolphins. I mean, you can't have your quarterback not out there. If Tua were out there, I would have them much higher. But yeah, I have the Miami Dolphins at number 10. And
Wow.
it starts to get interesting after this, though. I tell
Yeah,
you what.
because I'm wondering where you got your guy. I'm wondering where you got your team because I know traditionally you can be a bit of a homer.
Yeah, absolutely. Where you
But
got 10? It sounds like you're putting the Ravens in at 10, my man.
huh?
Where are you going?
No, I'm not putting them at 10, man. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm putting the Chargers at 10.
Okay.
And it's hard for me to do it because I look at their team and I see talent everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like Eichler, monster. The receiving cores, absolute monsters. I mean, Justin Herbert, talk about a young phenom. He's as good as it gets. On the defensive side of the ball, I think they're getting Bosa back. I mean, they got Derwin James. They got Khalil Mack. They got guys. But they're the Chargers. And somehow, some way, they always find a way to screw things up. And look, I don't know how it's possible, but I think it's very likely that Staley, unless he goes on a monster run, I think Staley's gone.
Yeah.
Which is because he's made so many coaching blunders. He's had so many head-scratching coaching moments that I think has led to them losing some games that they shouldn't have lost and could have cost them at least some seeding. And I think, man, there's going to be so many coaches salivating over the opportunity to take over this job.
Absolutely. Sean Payton.
Woo!
Might be an interesting one. All right. So next at number 9, this was a difficult one for me, Glenn, but ultimately I'm going with the Cowboys.
Wow.
I just think they're a dumpster fire right now. And I think they're going to, I mean, they're just not good. They're not good. I mean, they don't have anyone.
Dak throws the ball to the other team too much.
Yeah, it's a problem. He's got a condition. And I think that some of them, I don't know. I mean, I think some fold under the pressure, McCarthy specifically, of being a Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah.
So I got them in at 9. Where are you at?
At 9, I got the Jags. I got the Jags at 9. I love the, if I was just looking at it as a non-Ravens fan, just a fan of football, you got to love their story. They go from just an embarrassment last year with Urban Meyer missing his own team playing. That way he can go have some young girl give him a lap dance at the bar. I mean, it's amazing how far they've come. I mean, people were ready to write Trevor Lawrence off. We absolutely bashed them for the Christian Kirk signing when they gave him buku money. They were throwing money out to everyone who would take it. And really, a year later, they're a playoff team. They're 9-8. They come into the playoffs on a riding high on a win streak. They really started their playoffs a week early. And I'm impressed with them. But having said that, I still think, they're a year too early where they're at. And so for that reason, I got them at 9, Jimbo.
All right, fair enough. I also have them at 9, geez, it was not 9. Sorry, 8. I have them at 8 going in. I have the Cowboys, of course, at 9, but I have them at 8. And this is where, just like you said, the reason I have them with the Cowboys, I think they have a better coaching staff. I think obviously their quarterback is playing well. Their running back is really unique. And they're playing healthy, they're playing loose, they're playing fast. So they're an exciting team. If, like you said, they're a year ahead of time, but they're an exciting team if you're a Jaguar fan. So shout out to them for being able to turn the ship around and get it right. And I think Doug Peterson's an excellent coach. I think he's certainly well above average coach and one of the best in the NFL. So they're my number 8.
Wow. Okay. So number 8 for me, because I had the Jags at 9. Number 8 for me, Baltimore Ravens.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, I don't know if I'm going to get bagged on for this, but I got them at 8. And look, if I was guaranteed this was tomorrow and I see a full practice participation from Lamar, it might be different. But right now, if I have to grade them, I have to assume that Huntley's the starter, right? I mean, I think I have to with the fact that Lamar's missed 15 consecutive practices.
Yeah.
I can't pencil him. I can't, even though I have my suspicions and I'm hopeful, I got him at number 8 because if this offense continues to play like it has the last 6-8 weeks,
we have no chance. Get our doors blown off. Yeah.
I don't care how good the defense is.
I have the Ravens just one step ahead. And obviously all of it hinges on Lamar Jackson, and it'll be interesting to see how far they go. I think you thought I was going to go a little higher than that.
I did. Yeah.
But look, styles make fights. Just because one team is ranked higher than another team, it doesn't mean much to me at the end of the day. So that's what I'm telling myself.
Whatever it takes.
That's right. So Ravens in at number 7 for me. I could have gone higher because they're well coached. They have a great playoff record in the wild card. There's potential Lamar could come back. You guys know all these things. So I'm going 7 Ravens. Ravens are 7 for DK as well. Great minds think alike, DK. I get it. Glenn's the only one with "Oh ye of little faith." We're gonna start calling you Peter, Glenn. "Oh ye of little faith."
Dude, I got him at 8. You got him at 7.
All right, who you got? Let's see.
All right, 7 for me is the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I get that. Their point differential is shocking for a 13-4 team. They've had
as an offense, though.
Exactly. They've had some of the worst losses of any team this season, losing, I think, 44-3 or something to the Cowboys.
They're going to ring up 40 on the Giants.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. Actually, is it the Giants? Yeah, Giants, yeah. Michael Jarrett says, come on, guys. Vikings are not a good team. We'll choke out. Yes, you should be bagged on, Glenn. This is a Homer show. Is it a Homer show? All right, look, I put the Vikings at 7. It's not like I'm saying they're really a striking contender. It's the 7th overall in the playoffs. I got them at 7 because you got to respect what they've done 13-4. They got crazy talent, especially at the skill positions. When you think about, they got Adam Thielen, they got Justin Jefferson, who might just be the best receiver in football. They got TJ Hawkinson that they traded for from the Lions, who's certainly a top echelon, a top tier talent at the tight end position. I mean, they got Cook in the backfield. Kirk Cousins, when hot and when playing well, can put up crazy numbers and lead a comeback like we've never seen. He literally did this year, had the biggest comeback in the history of the league, being down 30 points at halftime. So for that reason, I got to give them the respect that they've earned. 13-4 record. I've got them at 7.
I like it. I mean, I just got them one spot ahead at 6, right? Like I'm just, I mean, it makes a lot of sense for all those reasons. Who's your 6?
6 for me is the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, you got them a lot higher than me. They're not good, Glenn.
They destroyed the Minnesota Vikings. They beat them into the dirt. Good. And if their quarterback will just not throw the ball to the wrong team, they got a monster running back core. Monster. Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, beast mode. CeeDee Lamb, one of the best receivers in the league. Monster. Turns out that T.Y. Hilton's got a little game left, and they're squeezing every ounce of it out of him. He's playing well. Dalton Schultz up the middle. And then their defense, I mean, it just doesn't make sense how these guys don't put up 6 sacks every game with the pass rushers they have. I got the boys at number 6, Jimbo.
All right. I think things are going to start to get interesting here soon. My number 5, let me make sure I'm right here. Okay, because I don't want to drive anyone crazy. I got my 1. Oh, yeah. Okay. My number 5 is the Bengals. Yeah. My number 5 is the Bengals. Does DK as well. Doesn't mean they aren't going to lose in the first round. They are. But they are number 5 nonetheless. The team with the eternal window and the guy with the terrible looking fake Drake turtleneck. Get out of here, dude. Golly day.
What happened?
Joe Burrow's turtleneck game. Dude, whoever dresses him needs to be put in prison.
It looks like such fake swag. Like he looks like a poser to me.
Yeah.
Like it looks like when you see the uncomfortable older college football head coach who goes in the locker room and tries to do the dance that's the most popular, and it looks horribly uncomfortable. Just dress
like Daniel Jones, dude.
Yeah, just be you, man.
Right.
Be you.
Right.
You're not all those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Who you got at 5?
Can you tell we're Ravens fans? At 5, I got the Niners. I got the Niners at 5. I know.
So much higher than that.
Look, dude, I know. Let me explain.
Watches this. Make sure Frenchie watches
Let me explain. I've already said this to Frenchie. He knows. I'm just not sure that Niner defense is as good as everyone thinks. And here's why. Look at their schedule. They played one really great team all year, and they got destroyed, and that was the Chiefs. One.
Yeah,
That's it.
I'm more a believer in Shanahan, man. What they got going on. I don't know Purdy's
He's playing unbelievable.
but
It's
he's so
crazy.
unexperienced at the same time and things like. But
It's like,
Shanahan
when
is
does
just
it
in
hit
his
him?
bag right now.
He is, and
You
he's
know.
got. I mean, he's got so much talent around him. I mean, you
Mhm.
look around. Ayuk is a monster. Debo, monster. I mean,
Well,
George Kittle, monster. They got 2 running backs with Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell, both monsters.
can I tell you my 4? Because you might be up in arms.
Who's your 4?
It's the Eagles.
That's your 4? Okay, that's not.
I'm
That's
surprised you're not more surprised than that. I'm actually a bit disappointed.
well. I mean, I only have them at 3.
All right, fair enough. Well, who's your 4?
4's the Bengals.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I
Fair
mean, look,
enough.
they've won what, 8 in a row. I got to give them credit.
Yeah.
They have an offense that could score in a hurry. They got a
Mhm.
defense that's got, maybe the best safety tandem in the league right now. You got to give them credit. They got 2 really good pass rushers. They got Logan Wilson in the middle, who's a fantastic linebacker. I mean, they got good players, and they were here last year, so they they can win in the playoffs. So I got them at 4.
All right, fair enough. I can't argue with that. My 3 though is the Niners. I'm taking the Niners at 3. I wanted to put them at 2, but I couldn't put them over the team that I have at 2 because of the inexperience at quarterback. Like you said, like when is it going to hit him? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm going Niners number 3, but I almost put him in at 2. Who you got at 3?
3 is the Eagles. I think
Okay.
they're playing really well. I just wonder about the Hurts shoulder issue. I think if he was 100% healthy, I'd have him higher on this list. They were running through teams. They were beating teams badly. And then they hit that little bump in the road, and then the injury to Hurts happened, and Gardner had his struggles. But I think if he's close to 100%, man, they're going to be a really tough out. They're so good
Mm-hmm.
everywhere, offensively
Mm-hmm.
and defensively. So yeah, I got them at 3. How about 2 for you?
Yeah, 2. So I'm going the Bills. 2, I'm going
Nice.
the Bills. I mean, some people might have them in at number 1. I have them in at number 2, simply because of the Chiefs being my number 1, right? Like they look like the best team in football right now, in my opinion. Once again, does not mean they cannot be had. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean they cannot be beat. But yeah, I'm taking the Bills at number 2. And I'm interested to see how, because we are humans, how they react to the emotional roller coaster they've been through as a team. Obviously, with Hamlin recovery and things like that, it's only going to be good. But is there a shock effect? Obviously, we saw the huge game from Hines, in this past game, and it's good that they got a game under their belt as they, before they have to move into the playoffs. But yeah, I have them in at number 2.
Yeah, I agree. I got them at 2, but while they're 2 in my power rankings, they're my leader as far as that's my pick right now to win the Super Bowl. Part of it is the Damar
Okay.
Hamlin motivation, but also, I mean, Jimbo, this team finished number 2 in points on offense, number 2 in points on
Yeah,
defense.
that's the thing. It's so rare. Their
I
offense and
mean,
defense is so good. The Chiefs don't have that claim. Like their offense is good, but I mean their defense is not lights out like the Bills. And I'm assuming obviously you have
yeah,
the Chiefs at number
the
1.
Chiefs are 1, but I mean, just imagine, and I'm glad. I shouldn't say I'm glad. I think as a Ravens fan, I'm not necessarily disappointed, but just think about if the Bills were at 100%,
Yeah.
if they had Von Miller, if
Yeah.
they had a healthy secondary with Poyer out, and I mean, this is a banged up unit that just keeps getting it done. Like they've
Mhm.
been so beat up defensively, especially. And yet they're still the number 2 ranked defense in the league. It's
Yeah,
impressive.
impressive. Well, let me tell you what, no huge announcement, but I got the Baltimore Ravens as my Super Bowl champs.
Get out of here. You're just
Dude, I do.
pandering to the
I
to the to
do.
the chat right now. That's all that is.
I can't say otherwise. I have the Baltimore Ravens as Super Bowl champs. Pack a run game, pack a defense. You got Lamar Jackson. Don't know what could happen, dude. Best playoff coach in the NFL right now, John Harbaugh. That's all I'm saying. DK, whose list do you like more?
Well, let's see where our biggest differences were. I mean, we had number
Cowboys.
1 and 2 as the same. Yep. Cowboys were the big one. The Niners, I have them at 5. You have them at what, 3?
3. Mm-hmm.
I guess that's not
And the
terribly different.
Bengals, we had a couple. I had the Bengals at what?
You have him at 5. I have him at 4.
Okay, yeah, so that wasn't very big either. I think we swapped the Chargers and Jags as well,
Yeah, nothing
and we
crazy
swapped
there.
the Giants and the Seahawks.
Well, I mean, mine is so yours was close to being right. Mine's right.
Okay, well, we'll see what DK says.
You know, look, this is why you both finished behind me for the
In what?
season in
In
pick
what?
accuracy and total correct picks.
Who won for the season? Who's got the championship? I just want to hear you say it.
Who won the what?
Who's got the championship, dude? Who won? Who's got the belt?
I knew it came down to a tiebreaker, but I can't recall who was.
Oh, it's physically impossible for you to just name the winner. It's me, dude.
Oh.
James Haskell won.
Okay, James won.
That's right, bro.
I'm willing to admit that James won, but Jimmy Haskell or Haskell, he ain't get nowhere.
Wait a second. Jimmy Haskell, however you want to say it, bro, won.
All right. Well, I still was the most accurate, and the best team didn't win this year.
You take that home with you. You take that home.
That's all I have to say. Now look, Jimbo, you're getting beat up. They say Andy Reid's the best.
That's fine.
Coach
That's fair. I disagree.
Okay.
John Harbaugh has been in more scenario. John Harbaugh has done the most difficult thing in the NFL, and that's win NFL road games, or excuse me, NFL playoff road games. Yeah. Who has more? Andy Reid or no other coach in history has more road victories than John Harbaugh, and that is the hardest thing to do in the NFL. Period. As a coach, win playoff games on the road. There's nothing harder. And John Harbaugh is the best at it. Look at his record. In sports, there are some things that are binary, Glenn. Wins and losses are binary. You only are what the scoreboard says you are. Andy Reid is an excellent coach.
Yeah.
But John Harbaugh...
But wouldn't somebody say, well, that's because Harbaugh can't win his division. He's always on the road. Andy Reid's always... I mean, look.
Sure, but
well, I think they're tied.
Exactly. And who has more road victories?
Well, I bet Andy has more home.
I mean, obviously, right? But I'm taking Harbs, dude.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think you have an argument both ways. No doubt, especially because, Andy's at home and John's on the road. So,
sure. Well, the AFC North is a good division too, traditionally.
Yeah. Well, they were supposed to be really good over there.
The West?
In the West.
Dumpster, you crap the bed.
Yeah, they were supposed to be so good. All 4 were supposed to make playoffs. Ravens O's Nation says, I have a shed of fellow Ravens fans. Didn't Cleveland kick the crap out of the Bengals by run the ball and play defense? We can do the same. Absolutely. But the thing is, they have to be able to do is threaten the edges just enough to stop them from loading 6 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers or 2 linebackers and 3 DBs. You got to at least get them to get some of that beef off the defensive line.
Yeah.
But I think they got the guys. I mean, they got Sammy Watkins, I think, can do it. You give him you put him on an island out there, he can make a damn play. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think Demarcus Robinson can make a play. I want to see him secure the ball. I want to see him catch the ball and
stop doing this.
Potato it to the defender.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy. The lack of ball security drives me crazy. But I mean, I think they can do it. It's just like every time. It's like, can this formula work? Well, yeah, it can work if it works.
It's done right. Right. Exactly.
It can work if it's scoring points.
Right. Do we have any other ones, DK? I know we were backed up on Super Chats. I want to make sure we get to... Oh, okay. Steve says, give DaCosta a grade. We had underwhelming, wide receivers with Roman when Lamar won MVP. I feel like we haven't even seen a flash of Lamar MVP is the difference. A dominant line as opposed to wars.
Wide receivers. I think that's what that's.
Okay. So the first part, I give DaCosta an A-. I can't give him an A, but I do give him an A- based on how he's drafted. Obviously signing Roquan. Look at the rookies this year. I mean, it's just ridiculous from top to bottom. But I give him an A- because we've obviously missed the boat, the wide receiver position. Some of it's just bad luck with injuries, but I'm going with an A-. Lamar needs to play like an MVP. I don't really know what else to say.
Well, I mean, that the second point I think is interesting because if you just look at it, if you look at it from the DaCosta angle, and you go, if you're DaCosta and you look at and you go, man, he won MVP and led the league in touchdowns. We had the number 1 offense with who was his receivers? Then why the hell would I consider paying a receiver?
Right.
Yeah. Like I get why I get it from like I see a lot of different angles. Like I could see why DeCosta would go, wait a minute, he did what with who? But then why would I go pay $20 million for a guy if you're telling me he did this with those guys? So you're telling me I need to build a strong offensive line. Like I see kind of what the point Steven's making here is that maybe that dominant offensive line is more important, but at the same time, I mean, you got to have someone who can get open on an island on the
Got to be
outside.
serviceable.
And right now, I think they could do better as far as talent on the outside. I think they could 100%. Do better.
And some of it's out of his control. Can't help the the Bateman injury. Can't help that. You know,
Duvernay as well. I don't care what anyone says. Duvernay wasn't healthy after, what would you say, week 5?
After that Bengals game.
Yeah, he was not the same person. So while he played, and people go, well, he wasn't great anyway. I don't think from weeks 5 to 10 he was the same guy.
Well, listen, that's all for us tonight, folks, but we are so excited for Thursday night. Make sure you tune in. We're, of course, going to preview this primetime matchup, playoff matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. We're really looking forward to it. Cannot wait. We'll have that. We might have a guest on. We'll have 2 competitions going into this playoff game. So make sure you tune in. 8 o'clock, we'll be here. Make sure to join us. We will talk to you guys soon.